What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are going to talk about the Rotten Tomatoes Last Jedi score because it dropped again. It went from 48 down to 47, and I think that's funny because right in time with the Last Jedi Blu-ray release, where the people that thought they liked this movie took it home, watched it, and they're like, man, I sure thought I liked this movie, but this is garbage. And I feel your pain, because it took me a few viewings before I was able to take the fanboy hat off and realize how bad this movie is. And it's bad. But the Rotten Tomatoes score, we've heard all of the excuses from people with the whole, it was the alt-right, or it was these Facebook groups, or these websites. It's all these people. They're forming these legions to just go in there and drive the rating down. And basically, these are called excuses. These are called excuses because we live in a world where people can't understand that their opinion might not be the right opinion when talking about the general audience and the general consensus of something like a film. You can like a bad movie. I can like a bad movie, but it doesn't mean that it's a good movie. And you have to have objectivity to understand that. Some people have it, some people don't. But it's okay for you to like a bad movie. Don't forget that. What's wrong with it is when you can't accept that you like a bad movie and you're constantly making excuses for why other people don't like it. I hear it all the time. All film is subjective. All film is subjective. I mean, that's the stupidest thing you can say. Everything is subjective. I live in Florida, okay? So if it's 50 degrees here or 45 degrees, I might make a comment that it's cold outside. And somebody from Minnesota may come down and go, what the hell are you talking about, bro? This is not cold. You would not survive if you lived up north because all weather is subjective. And if I go to a restaurant and I tell you they have good food, maybe you go and you don't like it because all food is subjective. Stop with the all film is subjective stupid shit. We get it. All film is subjective, just like every single thing else is. So stop making that a point. At the end of the day, you can have your opinion and other people can have theirs. And when you take all of those opinions and put them all together as a collective unit, that forms the general consensus. The general consensus says The Last Jedi is not a good movie. You can either accept that or you can't, but it's the truth. So I was looking at it, and with these claims that there are so many bots and there's so many targeted accounts and alt-right and all that stuff, I decided, okay, if that is the case, then clearly the numbers would actually show a spike and an increase that was just astronomical, right? Because clearly, you know, this is true because people are repeating it, right? Okay, so on Rotten Tomatoes, if you look at the audience score, it is currently at a whopping 47%. And the average rating is a 2.9 out of 5. There is 188,204 counted ratings that are making that score up. So, considering there's so many bots, and there's so many people that are just calling their friends, and their friends are calling their friends, and they're saying, hey, go on Rotten Tomatoes and give The Last Jedi a bad score just because we are forming a uprising against this movie. So that number should be astronomically higher than other films in the same tier as this one, right? Well, let's look at it. Boom. The Force Awakens. 88% of the people liked it and gave it a positive review. It has an average rating of 4.3 out of 5. And oh look, it has more user ratings than The Last Jedi. But we have been told that The Last Jedi has just been botted and altered to the point where so many fake accounts and fake people are driving that number down. But when you look at the data, it will ultimately fall in line when it's all said and done. If you give it another year, I mean, the majority of the ratings are in for The Last Jedi. If you give it another year, it'll eventually probably catch up to The Force Awakens, and they will be equal, and both of those numbers will slowly go up over the course of time. But when you look at the numbers, you find out how wrong these people are and how uninformed they are, but they like to just repeat whatever nonsense they hear because it helps tell them that they are not wrong with loving The Last Jedi. And you're not wrong for whatever your opinion is. You're not. But when you are so short-sighted that you believe in nonsense like there are bots, that there's this concerted effort to drive down the score of The Last Jedi, that's where you lose me. That's where I can't really deal with you. Are there trolls on Rotten Tomatoes? Yes, there's always been trolls. Every movie has trolls. Every single movie has people going in there and just downvoting it because they don't like it. That's not like, okay, so let's go to some of the more other popular movies that have been out a long time. Let's look at the Avengers. The Avengers has 1.1 million ratings. 1.1. And it still holds a 91%. Do you know why? Because The Avengers is a fantastic movie. Now, I like The Avengers a lot more on my first viewing than I did multiple, but it was such a moment to experience in the theaters. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but you have to appreciate what we're looking at there with the Rotten Tomatoes score as far as 1.1 million reviews. Yes, there were trolls. Yes, there were DC fans involved with that. But with all of it, it withstood all of that to stand at a 91%. That is phenomenal. Amazing. Then we can go to what I consider the single greatest comic book film of all time, and I don't think it's even close. And the data will back up what I'm saying. The Dark Knight. 1.8 million user reviews, standing at a 94%. That means 94% of 1.8 million reviews are positive. That is damn near unheard of on the internet. And standing at a 4.4 out of 5 average rating. Phenomenal. The Dark Knight is the king. But the bigger point here is 1.8 million reviews, and it still has a 94%. The Last Jedi, sitting at its measly 188,000 user reviews, and it has a terrible 47%. So these are the numbers. These are the facts. You can't dispute these facts. It doesn't matter how much you want to try and make excuses and try to make claims that aren't true. These are the numbers. So my whole thing on movies is, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the general audience thinks. So when you take each opinion, here, there, everywhere, take them and collectively put them together. What do they equal? The Last Jedi equals a 47%. That is not good. The box office started out extremely strong for The Last Jedi. Did like 500 million opening weekend worldwide. Did 220 domestically, coming off of the greatness of The Force Awakens. And then as soon as people started seeing it, you saw a bigger drop than normal from the last two previous Star Wars movies. Why? Because people weren't liking it. The numbers support everything I'm saying. You can like it. I don't. But at the end of the day, enough people have come together and shown that the general consensus says The Last Jedi is not a good Star Wars movie. You can accept it or you can't, but the facts are right there for you. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.